I'm so happy to have with me right now my next guest, this beautiful individual right here, head of brand accessibility for Google, the one, the only KR Liu. KR, how are you, my dear?
I'm good, Paul. How are you? It's
I'm
wonderful to be here. Thank you for having me.
same here, KR. Whenever I get a chance to talk to you, text you, or see you, it's always a better day. So welcome to it. Welcome here with
Yeah.
us.
Thank you. You're too kind, but likewise, I always enjoy my conversations with you, Paul.
Hey, I appreciate it. I wanted to have you join us during this Abilities Expo to really talk about some of the great things that Google is doing when it comes to accessibility. You know, we look at Google's all the cool gadgets that we all get a chance to play with and have fun with. But KR, there are some things that Google has been involved in that's really helped pushing the envelope when it comes to accessibility. And before we hop into that, why don't you let ones know a little about yourself, KR, and also your disability, if you don't mind?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm KR for everyone who's joining, and my pronouns are she and her. And just to give you a quick visual description of myself, I'm a white female with short blonde hair, wearing a denim jean jacket, black shirt with a gray background. And my background is, I grew up with severe hearing loss in the tech industry in Silicon Valley. I'm a Bay Area native and just grew up around tech and really wanted to find a way that technology could be used as a way to help people with disabilities not only like connect in the world, but really be included and looked at as, equal members of society, and also like give us an equitable playing field, right? Allow us to pursue the things that we really love to do. And for me, that was really in product innovation, looking at unique ways to tell stories, looking at ways that people with disabilities are represented in the world. And currently at Google, my role is to, help bring a disabled lens into the major stories that we tell as a brand, right? And really amplify disability representation in media, in advertising, in film, in campaigns, but not just talk about the products that we make that are incredibly innovative for people with disability, but tell the stories of a disability community and who they are and what they're about and what they love to do. And that is how I met Paul, right? Is I met Paul in one of my first big campaigns for Global Accessibility Awareness Day last year. And I really wanted to amplify him and who he is as a person and the things he loved to do and help the world learn more about him, right? And so that's the role I play is I really help our company and really help the marketing and media industry see more of us out there, right? And we're represented in less than 2% of media and film. So I didn't want to not see myself or have people not see more images and content and stories that didn't allow them to see who they were. So that's my role. That's what I do.
And we appreciate that, KR, because that campaign that I was a part of last year, it even highlighted the Abilities Expo. And we appreciate you and the team at Google allowing us to tell our story. And that may strike ones maybe kind of odd who are watching right now, because again, all we think about is the cool gadgets and things like that. But we see this focus of storytelling. And Kara, why is it so important for us to have our stories told out there?
Yeah, I think people need to understand that although disability is a part of our life and it is a part of who we are, it's not all of who we are, right? And so I've always believed that when you learn someone's story, just the human story, the journey that someone has been on, a lot of times before you even knew that person, you may think I have nothing in common with this person. So I'm just not going to relate. But sometimes when someone tells a story of what they love to do, where they've been in life, like that connects people, right? That breaks down barriers. That allows relatability to sometimes happen. And then that's how you really impact cultural change. So I'll give you a great example. Like you and I can talk about sneakers all day long. We can talk about technology that we love all day long, right? But we also talk about who we are, what we love to do, right? Not at any moment there are we focused on our disability, right? That is something that connects us, and we have a mutual interest and passion around our community. But what really connects people is the things that we love to do. And in order to learn that about someone, you have to tell the story, right? You have to, whether it's a moment in their life or it's something that they're passionate about, those are ways that you create bridges and connection in a way that you probably wouldn't have found otherwise.
No, that's true, KR. And we are so grateful for what you and the team are doing over at Google to make this a reality. And KR, not only does Google do a great job of telling stories about us who are part of our community, KR, you guys even talk the talk, you walk the walk, you even hire ones who have different type of challenges. And why is that so important for Google to have that type of reputation or representation when it comes to making sure that our voices are now being a part of the Google family?
Absolutely. So it's really important that if you're going to, whether it's product design, right, whether it's marketing, whether it's, creating or producing films, for example, which Google and the team I stay in, we do a lot of. In order to reach a community and be truly inclusive of everyone to be a part of that experience in the products that you make or the campaigns that you're going to launch, or even like the social campaign you're going to launch on social media, whatever that may be, you have to have a seat at the table for the communities involved that you're talking to. And if you don't, you're probably not going to reach that audience. You're probably going to miss a huge market of people. Or you're going to not have a seat available once people see how valuable we are when we come to the table, right? And so for me, I've been very lucky to be at Google, not only to sit at the product design side, whether it comes to hearing technology and applications that we've made for Android, like live captioning and things like that, which I was grateful to be a part of. But I wasn't a Google employee. Like, they brought me along, they brought me in to help them through that because that was my area of expertise, but something I was passionate about. But then they brought me into the company when they started seeing opportunity to tell the stories that Google tells, but make sure that the representation and the voices were there to help guide them through the process. And so Google very much recognizes and is very passionate about not only accessibility, but they're passionate about disabled voices having a seat at all the tables, all the conversations throughout our entire process, whether you're in finance, HR, marketing, product design, UX design, I could go on, but we have thousands of what we call disabled Googlers at the company. And so we're proud of that because that's important to us, right? We recognize the value in the contributions disabled people bring to the table. And that includes people like our chief evangelist, Vince Cerf, who is a man who co-founded the internet. We wouldn't be having this conversation right now without him. And he has hearing loss, his wife has hearing loss, and he helped create email so that he could communicate without having to talk on the phone. I mean, that's the rich history we have as a company of bringing in incredibly innovative, talented, disabled people, but also when we come to the table, we're opening the doors for others to come to the table too.
No, that is so true. And KR, when we look at some of the things that have been able to be accomplished by you and the great team over at Google, what can we as the disabled community do to help make sure that we are doing our part and showing our appreciation for just the causes that you fight for all of us?
Yeah, I think it's really letting us know we want feedback, but also like we are constantly engaging in conversations with the community. We want to know like what's important to you? What are the issues you want us to focus on? What's the feedback you want to give us, whether it's products or campaigns or initiatives that are important to our company, but what is important to our community? Like that is also part of my role, is to have those conversations, to take that feedback, to bring it to the table, positive or negative, right? We're not always perfect, right? We're always learning. So for me, it's important that the community engages with us, right? They talk to us. They let us know like what's working and what's not, right? Like that's important. And then where is there opportunity for us to be better? Where's opportunity for us to be great, right? And we recognize the platform we have as a company and the brand is really strong. So if we can help implement change or move us forward as a community, like that's important to us as a company. It's important to me in the role that I play. So I would say like feedback is really important to us, letting us know, whether that's contacting, us directly or emailing us or messaging us on social media. Like we pay attention to all of that. We really want to be engaged with the community and get the feedback.
And that's something I appreciate about what you guys do over there. I mean, all you have to do is follow you guys on IG and Twitter and all the social media. It's really all about inclusion, and it's good to see, because in our community, uh, some of us are part of multiple communities out there,
Totally.
and Google makes sure that all ones are represented in a way that truly just shows people that we're normal, that we live life just like the next, and we appreciate that.
100%.
Appreciate
100%. Yeah. And to your point, right? Like we are the most diverse minority population there is, right? So it's really important that, I can only bring one perspective of disability, right? Like as a queer female, like with hearing loss, who's like white, that's my perspective I bring. But when it comes to the intersectional conversation or lenses that need to come to the table, that's where we bring those intersectional viewpoints to make sure that we are hearing all viewpoints that are important to our community.
And Kara, what is the most challenging part of the movement when it comes to accessibility, when it comes to just continuing on that trajectory that we've been on for many years about inclusion? What's the most challenging part?
No, that's a great question. I want to say it's challenging. I think there's so much opportunity. Like sometimes it's hard to know where do you start, especially now, right? There's this move. I mean, there's been a lot of effort in this space for a long time, as you know, Paul. But I would say, like in the last couple of years, it's just been a freight train that is just taking off of like momentum and movement. And it's just like you want to get on that train and figure out like how do you capture this moment in time that really help move us forward. So I think the challenge is really like how do we, you know, I don't want to say take advantage of this opportunity, but how do we really utilize this opportunity to move us forward, right? And where do you focus your attention? And I think innovation is always going on. It can continue to grow, and more people are seeing just how critical it is to have accessible product, accessible innovation, disabled people at the table during the like design process, not the building process, but the design process. But now even more so, like having having the disabled creatives at the table, like helping us like tell those stories, helping us like create that content. Like that too is like the media movement of disability visibility is happening, right? But then you got to make that content accessible too. So there's like a lot of opportunity. So I want to say there's a challenge. I think it's a great problem to have, honestly. But it's just like I think some days it's overwhelming of how much opportunity we have here and how do you move it forward, right?
I'm glad you said that, KR, because that's how I feel sometimes. There's so much opportunity. It's a good problem to have, because you look at all the different relationships that you can make in this community, and it's never a bad decision because whoever is doing great things when it comes to accessibility and inclusion, it's a great thing. But I wish I could clone myself, KR, and put one over here, one over there, three over there, four over there.
Totally. Yes. Totally. I was like, how do we like multiply ourselves and our knowledge and our expertise and our very unique viewpoints across the world to really like accelerate it, right? But I think that's the thing people forget is we're already there. You just have to like give us open the door, like give us the seat at the table, and the change will absolutely move forward. So I think that the big awakening is like, oh, the community's been waiting, right? They've been waiting for this chance, and now it's here. And you look at like even COVID and the work from home opportunity that disabled people have wanted forever, and now it's like, oh, like this is possible, right? So there's a lot of like eye opening that I believe has absolutely happened in the last year for sure on ways that we can be more inclusive.
Yeah, and that's why I think we in the media have to tell better stories about what you guys are doing when it comes to accessibility and inclusion and in this segment of Google. Because like I said, we in the media, bells and whistles, oh, it's cool, it does this, it does that. But no, what you guys are doing with accessibility and brand and inclusion, that's something that needs to be shouted out at the rooftops, because to me, that's really where the rubber meets the road, where you're helping a segment of the population that has been underrepresented, that hasn't been heard, and to have, if not the major tech voice, one of the major tech voice, to look at us and to show us some attention. KR, I'm telling you, it's unbelievable. It's kind of like, you're the not nice looking guy at the party, and the finest girl in the class comes over to you and say, hey, here's my number, let's chat sometime. That's how we feel to have Google recognize us. I just want you to know that, KR. I mean, it's
Thank you. No, we
really
appreciate
awesome.
it. It's really been like the support of like you, Paul, and people in the community who are like willing to work with us, right? Like willing to like help us move this forward. And I'm really blessed and lucky that I get the role that I have now. I mean, I've always dreamed of being in brand and never thought disability would be like a core function of brand and marketing. And now it's like here, and it's like, wow, this is a really big responsibility, right? It's a big responsibility, but at the same time, it's going to create so much more visibility, right? Along with the product side, but I just really feel like so hopeful, right? I feel really good about where it's moving towards. And then the work that we do, and like what was it, Tuesday, we launched our Hire Black Creatives, Hire Black Disabled Creatives campaign with Julian Marcato and Brett Wilson, and really showing exactly what I said, right? Like the passion of photography and film, and Crystal Emery moderating, and just like having communities come together in intersectional ways to talk about an area of creativity that they love. Like that's the stuff that should just be like normal conversation content we see on a regular basis. And so that those are the things that make me really proud to be a Googler, right? Is that we just give you the stage. Like you guys are the star. We're just here to give you this platform we have that reaches millions of people, right? And so that to me was like a proud moment, and meeting you and telling your story is a proud moment. And because like people need to know you guys. It's like you're all like in many ways friends, but like the world needs to know who you are, right? And so that's something that has me really excited about the future. Like I'm very, very excited to see where this goes.
Now, we really appreciate, again, KR, you and the fellow Googlers, um, again, letting us tell our stories and be a part of the narrative out there. And if ones out there are interested in finding out more of the great things that are happening over over at Google, what's the best way for them to be informed?
Yeah, absolutely. So, if you want to see like a lot of the great storytelling work that we do and the campaigns we do and the products that we do, if you go to about.google.com/accessibility, you'll find Paul's really amazing story and great campaign there, and just some of the great work that we've done at Google around not only products but like the people that we engage with, the communities that we connect with, and all the diverse ways that we as human beings show up in the world. And so that's where you can learn more about the work that we do.
And I think that's real cool what you guys just did recently with the creative, Black disabled creative. I mean, that's again, that's super cool. And before I let you go, KR, anything else you like to articulate to us here at the Abilities virtual event?
No, I mean, I'm grateful to the community, and we really want to hear from you, and not kind of to the point, like we want to see more of us out there in the world. So keep telling your stories, keep pursuing your passions, keep moving forward. And tell people who have that kind of platform and that opportunity to innovate in whether it's technology or other spaces. Speak up and say what you want to see. People are listening, so please don't ever like be shy. Like please, let us know what more we can do as a brand, but what we can do as a community together, to move us forward.
Awesome. And KR, you please take care of yourself, my dear. Sending you a virtual hug, sending the beautiful Abby a virtual hug too. Uh, you guys are amazing, amazing people. Keep up the great work. And thank you so much for all that you do for us, KR.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you for hosting this, and keep up your amazing work, and looking forward to seeing and hearing more of you in the world.
Thank you. That was the amazing KR Liu. So what we're going to do, we're going to release you to the exhibit halls. You go out there and check out some of the cool things that we have out there. And also, I want to give a recognition to our new ASL interpreters. I messed up that word, didn't I? Our ASL interpreters. We have Darlene, and we have, hopefully I'm saying this correct, Andrea. I'm sorry. I always get mixed up with that sometimes, but hope you guys enjoyed that chat with Google. I need a xylophone. Remember that commercial, The More You Know? Ding, 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 ding. Did you know Google did all that for us? Accessibility and telling our stories is pretty amazing, isn't it? When we get back at the top of the hour, we're going to be talking about home modifications. You want to find out how much that elevator is going to cost you? That shout out for everyone who knows the Tiny Toons elevator. Plucky, remember that? You want to know about that and other things? Stay tuned for our next guest coming up at the top of the hour. So go out and check out all of our great exhibitors out there. We'll be back after these messages.